everybody, I'm Kitsune Haruri and welcome to Doll Yokai. Today I'm going to be doing a project with something I just got off of Wish. I'm going to be doing a resin deer. So stand by and we'll get right on this project. Alright, so as you can see, I've got the silicone mat out, which means I'm about to do something that's going to be a little bit messy. And this little guy, I saw it on Wish. I thought it was kind of cute. I figured I would give it a try. It is a silicone mold, so it should be just fine with the resin that I use. Sometimes I'll use a UV resin. In this case, I'm going to be using this one, the Alumilite. It's usually better for a deeper cast and won't overheat to the point where it's gonna ruin itself, but it does take a while to set up. So let me get this started up and, well, hopefully we'll be making a cute little deer this year. So here's my Alumilite. Still have the cups in there. It is a two-part, and this one I have had for a while. And no matter where you get your resin from, always read the directions because not all of them work the same. This one in particular, let's see, it says it acts like an adhesive will try to bond to most surfaces. Now I do have some mold release in here somewhere. I've never had really good luck with it though, but we'll give it a try. And it says that we mix an equal amount of A and B by volume, mix it together thoroughly, and then put it in. Let me get everything together here. I'm also going to be using a little bit of mica powder. I'm going to use some white for the base, and I might add some sparkly bits of the other just for fun. But I'll probably also, if this comes out of the mold okay, I'll probably be painting it as well. Right, so one moment while I get set up. Remember to put on your gloves. Yes, you can remove resin from your hands with pure acetone. That doesn't mean it isn't going to do you harm. Don't take the risk. Get this on here. Mechanics gloves. They're nice and tough. Don't lose too much sensitivity. And they just kind of look cool. So I've got some Cast and Craft Mold Release Conditioner. I've had it for a while, so I hope it's still good. We're going to find out. Put a little bit in there. It just does not want to, does it? Okay, that might be just about as good as I'm going to get. That does have quite the smell. That's set up in there. Hopefully it doesn't pool anywhere. And just to be sure, don't want bubbles and such. Let's get our little cups out and mix this stuff up. I have a couple of these hanging around. I can't remember which of my cups worked and which ones didn't. So we're going to give this a try, and if it eats the cup, well, then no. I'm going to need a bigger one to mix in, I think. So, we want these in equal parts. Part A and Part B. Doesn't say what they are, does it? Probably not the best idea to shake these, but I'm going to give them a little bit of a stir up. They were nice enough to include popsicle sticks for stirring. I'm not sure that cup's going to be big enough. So, I do have one of these silicone cups. I did have two of them. The other one, when I went to pull it out, the bottom had turned yellow and sticky. So I'm not sure what's going on there, and I didn't trust it, so I got rid of it. So let's go ahead and get this filled up. Woo! Oh, that comes out quick. These look about equal. And for those who are wondering, I am by no means an expert in resin. I might be doing some things wrong. I hope I'm not, but I might be. Make sure, as I said before, read your instructions. Now, I want to get out my mica powder. I've already got stuff on me. Wouldn't you know it? It'll be okay. I'm going to use a lot of white in this one. Now, give this a little stir to make sure it's ready to roll. And get it into the cup. Now stir gently so as not to make too many bubbles, but there are still going to be some. Now some glitter of interest. See where my antique copper is. That'll be a good color. There we are. So I'll blend it in and hope that it doesn't settle in the mold. Right now I'm trying to scrape down the sides and stir in as much as I can, just to be sure that it's even. You don't want anything to be stuck on the sides when you're pouring. In case you're wondering what I'm doing here, I'm just getting some bubbles to come to the top. Time to try the mold. So here we go. You can see pretty well whether it's filling or not. That's nice. I'll pour slowly in the hopes of preventing bubbles. And before I top it off, let's tap it again. Make sure it gets down into everything. Just a little bit more. And that should be it. It's getting tapped down a little bit here. Make sure there's no bubbles hiding in there. Okay. So how long should this take to set? 18 to 24 hours. So I will come back to this tomorrow. See you then. Alrighty, it's the next day. And we're going to see if this resin's set up. Now the stuff that I cleaned out of the silicone cup, when I popped it out of there, the bottom was sticky. I hope that's just because I had leftover stuff in the bottom and that it's not going to indicate what's going on here. So, just to lead up, let's start with the mold that I know, and that's the gummy bears. So far it seems okay. Alright, no stickiness there, so gummy bear's looking pretty good there. Let's get his friend out. Not bad. Looks like bring you in close so I don't have to take it out of the light too far. There it is. It can't focus on it. Anyway, same gummy bears that I use in my jewelry on the Etsy page. So the gummy bears did good. I've never tried this one before. This is the doll eye mold that I got from, I believe I got it from Wish as well. Let's try this one. And I didn't use any mold release on these two. But they look pretty good. This one had a little bubble right there. Looks like that one did it right at the corner too, so I'll have to watch for that when I'm using these, but I think I can make use of those. Very nice. Alright. to the main event. I have never used a mold that's this deep before. Here's hoping. I know you gotta release them a little bit. Ooh, there's a lot of bubbles. That may be a bad sign. I can fix it, I believe, but it's not ideal. Oh, there's a lot of bubbles. Come on, baby. You can do it. You can come free without breaking anything. I have faith in you. That giant head is doing me no favors. And we're free. Woo! That was a struggle. So let's have a look here. So for the most part we came out okay, but there are a lot of bubbles, a lot of stickiness. It looks like a lot of the white settled. So these bubbles are going to get sanded off. No biggie there. These, I'm going to have to fill them. There's just no two ways about it. So I'm probably going to lose a lot of this color. I'm going to say that a lot of this, like this, it's not a sharp-edged one, that might be because I used mold release, and maybe I shouldn't have. Even though you're supposed to, sometimes it's better not to. Even had a big bubble right here on the end of the antler. But I can salvage this. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to mix up a little bit of resin and start filling some holes. Alright, so I'm back where I was expecting. I had forgotten I have UV resin to use. So that could work pretty good in all these little teeny holes. So I'm going to give that a try. Got my light here. So let's see what I can do. Okay. And that took care of that problem. So I will go ahead and set these aside for a future project. I'm not sure what it's going to end up being, but it might come in useful. So, back to this little guy. Clearly he's not going to fit underneath the light. I'm going to prop that up. I'm going to start filling in some holes, and once that's done, if hopefully he is as smooth as I can get him, then we can start making this into a doll project. Alright, so I'm going to take care of that, and I will be right back. Alright, he's not perfect, but he's relatively smooth. So I'm going to start sanding down some spots. Definitely don't need to fill this in, I just need to sand it off. And I'll see if I can't smooth this out just a little bit more before I can go in and do some painting. I'm just dampening a paper towel in order to wipe off a little bit of this resin dust. So, should be ready for our first seal, and then painting can begin. So I'll see you right after I get this sprayed. Now we are ready to paint this little guy. He's already been sprayed. There are still some bubble holes here and there, but there are so many of them in this mold, I cannot fill all of them. I'm just not going to worry about it on this little guy because, well, I'm not sending him anywhere. He's staying here. And now I know that in this particular mold with this particular resin, I don't want to use the mold release. It can cause that sometimes. It also causes some of this fleckling where the white did not want to bond with the resin properly, so it all settled there in his head. But that's okay, because he's going to have white spots anyway. We'll just, yeah, pretend it's part of it. So the first thing I think I'm going to do for this little guy is go ahead and get his blushing done on his little cheeks and in his ears. And he didn't have paw pads, so I don't have to worry about those. Maybe a little bit around his little mouth. I believe I will probably do that with bright red. Touch down with a bit of white instead of going for a regular pink. And then I don't think I have a pink that I like for him. If it's too pink, it's not going to look right. Now just a little bit of this red into the white. I think that's strong enough to hold it. And I'm going to dry brush his cheeks. I'm not doing the powdered chalk pastels. For this little guy, I think I'm just going to go straight out acrylics. A little bit of moisture from my chewed up brush. And chewed up it is. This is one that once upon a time was a much longer brush that got cut down and allowed to fray out for the purpose of dry brushing. New life for your old brushes. We're just going to give him a little bit of cheek blush. Ooh, it's going on there kind of solid. I don't want that. It's the same deal. Older brush that was allowed to fray out. It's a little too pale, isn't it? Now, let's go ahead and do it in here, because that will work fine for the ears. Maybe a little around his mouth. A bit of a blushy color. Add a little bit more red into the cheeks. Yeah, we're looking pink. This is a sloppy mess right now, but we're getting there. Now I'll just continue painting from here. I'm going to be adding in colors from Folk Art, Americana, and also from Folk Art, the Color Shift. Don't mind that price there, it's probably wrong. I've had this for a while. That I'm going to use for the eyes, I believe. Ouch. Alright, let's get the base coats. Alright, we'll set that side to dry and then come back and add a few more coats to solidify that color. Then we'll go on to details. I am back. I've got base coat colors on. He is very bubbly. I mean, you can see a lot of bubbles on here. But again, like I said before, He's for me. I'm not going to worry about that for now. I'm just going to remember when I cast this again not to use the mold release. I believe that's why I have as many bubbles as I do. I don't have pressure chambers or anything like that available to me, so I have to just make do. But anyway, please excuse any noise in the background. They are doing utilities work out on the street in front of the house. Yeah, I've been watching a man up to his shoulders in a hole in the middle of the street most of the morning. Hopefully that won't take too long for them to fix, because I need to be able to get out later this afternoon. But anyway, let's get this guy detailed up a little bit. Now I have, since these have dried, gone ahead and done another spray. I used the clear acrylic matte coating this time. I won't be doing another coat on this next bunch of stuff because that's matte. I'm using metallics and gloss, and I will lose the sheen. I do have crystal clear lacquer, but if I spray that over him, then all of him will be shiny. And I only want the things that I'm making intentionally shiny to be that way. Probably what I'm going to do, if I really need more sheen and protection, I'm going to hit these with a little bit of UV resin at the end. So let's go ahead and get down to these details. I do want him to have some gold horns, antlers. So I'm going to use this really old bottle of Folk Art Metallic Inca Gold. It's one I've used in a lot of projects before, and I kind of like the color of it. So let's do those for his antlers. I've got metallic sequin black for his hooves, metallic bright red for his nose, and his eye color is going to be the Folk Art Color Shift Emerald Flash. Okay, let's get down to it. Yeah, I know. Oh my goodness. Meow. This Deco Art Duraclear Galaxy Varnish from Americana. I'm going to seal that with it because it's pretty. Goes on white and it dries clear and all you see is the glitter. Okay, while the base is drying, it's time to pull out some resin again, and this time I'm going to go over those shiny areas and I'm going to seal them in. I'm going to add in some decorations. He's going to get a little gold bow, a little red bell, and some eye shines. Alright, first glow. This is Snowtex. It's by Deco Art. Basically, this gloopy stuff, you dab on there, and it will dry and look like crunchy snow. So as soon as that cools, I'm going to put some of this on. And there we have it, a resin reindeer. It's going to be a little bit before he's fully dry, but he is still going to look pretty much like he is now. That snow stuff really takes a minute to go to finish. There were some errors in him. He definitely has a lot of bubbling still showing. That I believe might have been the mold release I was using. Because there wasn't really much in the way of bubbles in the resin itself when I poured it, so I think maybe it just didn't like that particular release. I did a little testing with some of these molds later, some other ones, and found I could do them just fine without the mold release. Depends on what kind of mold you're using, depends on what kind of resin. I did use 2 different types of resin on this little guy. The Alumilite, I don't usually use that often anymore, but it's there. I gotta use it up, so here he is. Once he's fully dry, he's going to join the rest of my Christmas decorations downstairs, or maybe with just the rest of the doll collection. And, well, there he is. I don't believe I have named this little guy. I might just cheap out and go ahead and call him Rudy, because why not? He's got the red nose. Anyway, guys, thank you so very much for watching. If you would, please like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the notification bell, because on this channel, the goal is to put out 1 video per month right now. But I don't know exactly when they come out. Depends on how quick these guys get done and the editing process, which is much, much more involved than the editing process for my other channel, Kitsune Haruri. But in any case, thank you so very much for watching, and I hope to see you next time, and bye-bye.